Hare Krishna, liebe Gäste, ein sehr warmes Willkommen zu unserem Krishna-Tempel Zürich. Dear guests, Hare Krishna, a very warm welcome to our Krishna Temple in Zurich. Is someone here for the first time? Welcome to all of you. Happy to see you here. Then I will give a short schedule, what we usually do on Sundays. Sunday we will have from 4 till 5 o'clock, we will have a talk and a discussion on spiritual and Krishna consciousness wisdom. At 5 o'clock there will be a vegetarian feast. And 6:15 a guided mantra meditation. And at 7 o'clock a temple ceremony. And from 8 o'clock onwards there will be more singing of mantras and kirtan. And for today's talk, we are very happy here to invite His Grace Siksastakam Prabhu. Please welcome. Those who regularly visit the temple already know him. He is the head of what we call the ashram of this temple. This temple also gives residence to monks who want to live a monk life, and Prabhu is taking care of the ashram. Prabhu came into Krishna consciousness in 2017, and he has a degree in study of religion, and he's serving his spiritual master, His Holiness Sivaram Maharaj, and he's traveling with him in UK, in different countries, Hungary, and what he's doing what he likes the best, which is sharing Krishna consciousness, especially in the form of books. And we are very happy that he's here, and he will speak on determination in Krishna consciousness. And before we start, first of all, braucht jemand eine deutsche Übersetzung? Okay. And second, there is so much space here. Please, I request all of you to come really close, that we don't feel alone in the front. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Bis um 45, gell? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming. Pleasure to have all of you here. Can you come a little closer? Let's come as close as possible. It feels more like a family. That's what we are. And you can see here we have a song text of one beautiful song that we often sing, especially before we start speaking on the Srimad Bhagavatam or other scriptures. And it's a Jai Radha Madhava prayers that is a description of the spiritual world. You know about it? Okay, wow, nice. So we have some Brajbasis here also. And it describes how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, God Himself, He is not just, sitting on a cloud or hanging around there and looking down on earth like, what are they all doing there? But rather, He is just always dancing and having fun. A lot of playful pastimes. And this is really what this song is about. So we'll just sing for a few minutes and then start with the lecture. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Nitai Gaura. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So thank you again very much for all of you coming here today, and also thank you to Ramdas Prabhu, Rasashay Ramdas Prabhu, that I can speak something today for my own purification and hopefully also for the inspiration of all of you. We will speak a little bit about determination in Krishna consciousness, determination in spiritual life, because it's an interesting time ahead. Kartik month is coming up. Tomorrow, yeah, that's right, very soon. Everybody ready for Kartik month? Yes. Haribol. So Kartik month is a special time of the year. It's 1 month where devotees, Vaishnav especially, those practicing in this tradition of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, try to go out of their way, put in an extra endeavor to please Krishna. And it's also, so it's a month in the Vedic lunar calendar. The Vedic system is based on the moon, not as we have here in the West on the sun. So in that sense, it's basically from full moon to full moon, where this 1 month really offers a lot of benefits. And actually, I will not go so much into that. There's many very nice lectures on it. You can also look up online for Krishna Premarupa Prabhu, for example. You all know Krishna Premarupa Prabhu? He's our main man here, in sense of he was the temple president for the past 14 years before Damodar Prasad Prabhu took over a few years ago, 21, I believe. So he has his own YouTube channel. A little promotion here for him. Check it out. It's called Krishna Prema on YouTube. I think Krishna Prema. Yeah, very nice videos. You can go. And he has one on the Kartik month. So for this month that is coming up, he gives a lot of practical tips and tricks and inspiration of how you can really get the most out of it. This month is celebrating especially the loving exchange that the devotees have with God. And first and foremost, that Mother Yashoda has with Krishna. And without going too much into it, it's about glorifying the highest form of love, which is that in the material world, it is said, that between a mother and her child. That's how the scriptures describe that this is the purest form of love that we have in this material world. Because the mother, she doesn't expect anything back from the child. She's just, I think you have experience, or maybe we forget about it, but then we can remember how when we were very small, and crying in the night, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever, Mother will come. She will take care of us and try her best to give us what we need so we can be happy. And so in this way, motherhood is a big sacrifice and is a very beautiful thing that is very much glorified in this month. But then just in general, the loving exchanges of the devotees and God. Many things happened in this month. Rasa Lila dance is eternally going on. Bhishmadev leaving the planet on the bed of arrows. Also, there's the marriage of Tulsi Devi. That's also coming up. So many, many beautiful events that take place in this month. And so the devotees, they want to take the most benefit of this month by taking up some extra endeavors, some extra vows for how they can please God, basically. In this way, they want to purify themselves, attract the mercy, understanding eventually that we cannot achieve God by our own efforts, but at the same time, by showing our full surrender to Him, He will give His mercy to us. So this is the kind of balance that is there. And devotees come up with many beautiful different vows of what they can do. For example, they chant more rounds every day. The devotees, they chant on beats. The Hare Krishna mantra that we have here, that was just sung very beautifully before by our kirtaniyas here. And they want to chant more and more. That's one main vrata or vow that is taken. Some they eat maybe only once a day. They only eat certain things, they avoid other things. And in this way, they really want to just bring the focus totally on Krishna. And so it is a month where we can really rededicate ourselves to the purpose of our lives. I mean, we all that are here today, we have some interest in spirituality, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And in this world where there's so many things going on, often it's not so easy to keep that purpose on the forefront. You can relate to that? Ever happened to you that you forget a little bit about spirituality in your day-to-day life? And so the idea of this month is also to really take a step back and again try to make an extra endeavor to get spiritual experiences. Get these samskaras, we say in Sanskrit, these impressions in the mind that give us this very strong feeling, yes, God is present in my life and I know that I'm a spiritual being and not this material body. And the more we have these experiences, the more we will be inspired to go deeper and deeper in this path. But, as we say, it's not always so easy. So, what is called in Sanskrit sankalpa is the underlying motive of the devotee in this month. Sankalpa means to really make a resolute determination that, okay, for this time, for this 1 month, I will do this, and nothing else can come in my way. And that's something that we find in the history of many, many great devotees of the past. And of course, in recent times, especially you can see it in Srila Prabhupada's life. So I wanted to speak a little bit about his life also. He will always come up again. Srila Prabhupada is this personality here on this beautiful seat that he has. He is that person who brought all this knowledge that we're speaking about here to the West. He's the one who showed us also what it means to become a real servant of God, to act as a divine instrument of God. And in that sense, he's really embodying everything that we want to become also. So by hearing about these great personalities, it really helps us to awaken that divine spark that is there already in us again. It is like that, no? That sometimes in our lives, when we practice spirituality, it feels like it's just too much. It feels like we cannot really do it. You know, many of us, they have taken upon themselves the vow to chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra every day. So you see there's the mantra, and we have beads of 108 pearls. So one round is 108 times this mantra. And the devotees, they say they want to do 16 of those rounds minimum. So that makes 1,728 of these mantras. So it's a lot. And it's not so easy to uphold that vow for a lifetime. And so sometimes, I'm sure we all have come to this point where we feel like, this is just not for me. It's just too much. It's just something that, is nice in theory, but in practice, maybe not for me. And maybe we've all come to this point also in other fields of our life where we felt like giving up is so much more gratifying, actually, There's a certain gratification also in giving up sometimes. Like, anyway, it's just not for me. This is too difficult for somebody else, but not for me. I will just not do it. I remember when I was in school, often this would happen, with things I didn't like to do, like handwerken. What it's called in English, I don't know. When, where you learn to work with materials, or especially also like sewing, these kind of things. That's for girls, I just want to play football, that's when. So you just finish whatever you have and you run away, So this attitude, there's a certain sense of defiance also, defiance like Trotz in German, where you feel like, no, this is, I'm too good for this, basically. I deserve better. I don't have to learn this, for what? And so even in spiritual life, sometimes it can be like that. 16 rounds, I don't have to do that. I can just chant a little bit here and there, and that's fine. That's good. But it is like that oftentimes, maybe you've seen it also in your lives, that just after this point where we felt like giving up, if we persist, great success is waiting. Thomas Edison is said to have said this. He was the inventor of the light bulb. And he's famous for trying a lot of times until it actually went through, like thousands of times, and he couldn't bring it to work. So he said that our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Just one more time. Okay. One more time I try to chant really attentively. One more time I try to really have my mind in my practice and not go somewhere else. I try to really behave like a devotee. I try to follow the principles that are there in the scripture. It's like also this picture is there, maybe you've seen that, where there's a gold miner. He's going to dig for gold. And he's come very far. He's into that tunnel. And just behind there's the gold. But he's just thinking, I've been doing it for hours now, for days. It's useless. Now I just stop. And just 5 more minutes and he would have reached the goal. So like that, we should have that in our mind when we practice our spiritual life, that success, it's in the activity itself already. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, that's already the greatest thing we can do. But then, by persisting, we will reach perfection in this life. But oftentimes, our mind comes in the way. What does mind stand for? Have you ever heard this analogy? M-I-N-D. You know. M-I-N-D. The mind is that which magnifies, makes very big. Intensifies, makes it feel very intense. Negativity and doubt. Anybody can relate? Yeah. That's one very nice analogy of or acronym for what mind stands for, M-I-D. The mind takes a mosquito and makes it into an elephant, right? And we think like, all is useless. Okay, let's just run away from this. It's not working. And that's in one way how we're influenced by this material world, by the whole energy that is surround us, because okay, we do have to go very much into philosophy now, why are we here and all that, but basically, we are here on our own little God trip. We want to be the center figure of our own movie. We want to be the Tom Cruise of this movie that is called Our Life. We want to be the hero. And we want to enjoy. We don't want to serve. We don't want to be, at the end of the food chain. We want to be on top and have everybody else serve us. And in this way, this material energy, which is in Sanskrit also called Maya, or that which is not, literally translated, Maya, that which is not, it masterfully crafts a world of illusions at the end of the day that are so super real that we are so engrossed in it. It's really interesting, no? One of my main services as a devotee here living, as a monk living in the temple, is that I go out on the streets and share books. I give books to people on the street. And, you can imagine, very few people out there are looking for a book about Krishna, right? And so if you stop them with a book about Krishna, they're like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? And they're so much convinced that what they're doing right now is the most important thing in all the worlds, in all universe. I have to go shop. I really don't have any time, not a second. I have to go to the store. I have to. It's so important. That's how it feels, It's like they cannot share 1 second of their time. And they're so convinced that that's all in all. That there's nothing beyond also. It is said that basically this life is like, this body that we have is like an avatar. For those of you who are into IT, it's like eine Hülle, a cover, or a form that you can choose, and that you navigate around in some virtual reality. So similarly, we are like in this virtual reality as the driver, the soul that is in the body, and steering around that avatar and identifying ourselves with the avatar. But, everybody, for example, who plays video games, they can understand that after they play the video game, they again do something else. It's not that they think they're this person in the video game. But we get so caught up in, because it seems so real. And so Maya, this material energy, even as a practitioner of spiritual life, often it makes us feel that we're so far away from spirituality. It's not really working for us. It's not for us. But actually, we should come to see that the fact that we're here today, all of you who are here today, made the step to come to a temple, to associate with other spiritualists, and that you sit in front of Jagannath, the Lord of the universe today. I mean, how much closer can you come to God, physically speaking? So the trick of Maya is to make us think we're so far away from our goal, when in fact it can be just like that we come in contact with Krishna and are living this relationship that we're meant to live. So, because Maya, this illusionary energy, is so strong, because we have this long tendency coming from many lives to identify with the body and the mind, we have to somehow find a way to stay on the path, no? And that's where determination comes in and is a very key factor. How can we practice spiritual life? How can we go on our path in a progressive manner? And that's where intelligence also comes in. I hope I'm not jumping too much around, but intelligence is that which is above the mind. It is described that we have a gross body and then a subtle body, which consists of the mind, intelligence, and identification, the false ego. So, the mind, which stands for M, magnify, and I, and N, and D, doubt. So the mind, who is our troublemaker and, giving us a perverted understanding of reality, it has to be controlled by the intelligence. Intelligence can be said to be that which distinguishes between what is good for us and what is not good for us. Now, how it does that is according to our identification. If we're fully convinced, we're this body and we will be happy by making the body happy, then the intelligence will think like that. Okay, ice cream, that will make me happy. Let's go there. Temple, that's a lot of work, maybe later. Okay, like that, no? But if we turn around the identification, okay, I'm a spiritual being having this bodily experience, understanding that by practicing spirituality, then I will be happy. So then the intelligence can be rescheduled, re-navigated. We can say, okay, we don't go for the immediate gratification, we see the long term. And the long term is we want to attain perfection. We want to be who we are. The spiritual being, the soul that is crying out. Maybe you heard this cry every now and then. I think you have, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. There's a saying by C.S. Lewis that if I find in myself desires that nothing in this world can fulfill, I have to come to the conclusion that I was not made for this world. It rings true, no? We all have these desires, these longings. We all want to be loved. We all want to have friendship and be happy. And still, in this world, there's always something that keeps us from experiencing that. And even as devotees, we can make this experience because we're not always Krishna conscious. But the point being, if that's the case, that nothing in this world is really satisfying me, that means I was not made for this place, I have nothing to do with this place. I'm coming from a different place where this love, this happiness is just a normal state of existence. And so this desire has to be nourished and has to be really taken to the forefront of consciousness and made into a identification. Yeah, this is the goal, to come to that place. And then the question is how to get there. Where do we find the tools and the knowledge how to get there? In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was in this position. So Bhagavad Gita is this beautiful book, which is the story of Arjuna, the warrior, who is on a battlefield but doesn't want to fight. Interesting, very intense situation. Imagine there's two armies lined up and you're in the middle and you're supposed to lead your army into the fight, but then you see like, I can't do this. This is crazy. Because on the other side, there's his old friends, there's his uncles, there's teachers that he knows. So he doesn't want to go into it. And then Krishna, he speaks to him. And I wanted to read this one verse which is very much connected to our topic. Many of you might know it. It's 241. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakha hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasainam. Translation reads as follows. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. In the purport, so there's always, in this book, there's always the original verse, and then there's a elaboration, a little explanation that Srila Prabhupada, who translated it, gives. So, Srila Prabhupada writes, the resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is the rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As by watering the root of a tree, one automatically distributes water to the leaves and branches, so by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone. namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's actions, then everyone will be satisfied. So Srila Prabhupada, the purport goes on, but this is just one snippet that I want to focus on. He makes this point that how can we have this purpose, this determination strong in our mind, is when we have the correct understanding of what's the goal of all this. Speaking about having desires that nothing in this world can fulfill. We're not made for this world, but then which world are we made for? Is there something like God, somebody like God? Is God somebody or something? All these things. So many questions pop up. And Srila Prabhupada then says that the ultimate understanding is that one who knows perfectly that Krishna is the root of all manifested causes, he is established in the right understanding. So he can then act in a way that will move him closer to that place and that situation where this longing can be fulfilled. Srila Prabhupada, who wrote these books, who brought Krishna consciousness here to the West, he said that he read this verse and he read the translation by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so another great acharya or teacher in the line that we're connected to. And that's when he understood. That's when he made this determination, this strong vow that that's it, The resolute purpose of my life is to just serve my spiritual teacher and do whatever he wants. Because what he wants is what Krishna wants. What Krishna wants is the best for everybody else. By watering the root of the tree, all the branches, all the leaves, they will get water. So if he thought about himself, if I can do that, if I can just be an instrument in serving my spiritual master, that's when there will be the best outcome for me and for everybody else. And so to that end, he focused his whole life. Again, that we are here today is just because of him. That this place exists, that we are here, that we heard about Krishna. It's due to him. From one person's determination, from his intense focus on what he thought is the absolute goal, the best way to live life, from all of this arrived what we have now all over the world, these beautiful temples and devotee association. And we should also not be misguided and think that it will be easy. So still, even if you have a resolute purpose, if you have a strong determination, there will be many tests and there will be many phases in life where we'll have to determine and rededicate ourselves to our purpose. And Srila Prabhupada was in this situation. He didn't know what to do. So his spiritual teacher, he told him, you're young, you're well educated, you speak English. Why don't you go to the West and give these Vedic teachings, these scriptures, in English language so that others can also understand? And that's what he wanted to do, but how? It's a huge task. And he just went on a journey. And to tell the whole story would not be possible. But just to show to which extent he went, to illustrate that, there's one little story of a elderly gentleman who lived right next to where Srila Prabhupada lived in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a very sacred place, the place of Krishna's birth, where Srila Prabhupada lived in a temple, Radha Damodar temple. And this gentleman lived right next to that temple, and many, many nights he heard that somebody was just always calling out, screaming in the middle of the night, 1, 2 o'clock. And he was thinking, that's a little strange, what's happening? But he was sleeping, so he went back to sleep. But then one night he said, okay, I have to find out what's happening. And so he looked into the backyard, and there he saw Srila Prabhupada, who was just sweeping in front of the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. Samadhi is the resting place, or like the tomb of a great personality. He was just humbly sweeping that place and calling out, hey Rupa, hey Sanatan, please be merciful unto me. He was calling to these great teachers before us, before him, to help him in that mission. And he was really just, from the heart, hoping that they would guide him how to proceed. And so this elderly gentleman who observed this was amazed. Wow, this person, he really has something in his mind. He's really going somewhere. Otherwise, why would he do that night after night for weeks and weeks? And so there's so many stories like this of many beautiful examples how Srila Prabhupada went to such an extent of trying to invoke the mercy so that he can benefit the rest of the world. So, in this way, we should also try to really get this one-pointed focus, like Krishna is saying here to Arjuna, Vyavasayatmika buddhi, to have a resolute purpose and that the aim is one. Because if not, and you might have this experience also, it's very unsatisfying if your mind is all over the place, if your intelligence is many-branched. You think maybe I should do this, or maybe that, or maybe I can do like this. It makes life so difficult. Why not just, tap into that one-pointed focus and go all the way? And that's how we can see so many great personalities have achieved so much. And that's, I think, the way how we can also do great. And Srila Prabhupada was once asked, again, this point of Maya and purpose. One devotee asked if our purpose is to be with God, if that's what we're meant for, then why is this illusory energy, Maya, so strong? Why is there so many pulls taking us away from God? And Srila Prabhupada is very impressive if you listen to the tape. Srila Prabhupada doesn't think, it's just the devotee finishes the question and Prabhupada immediately retorts, your purpose is not strong. He just shouts at him, your purpose is not strong. And I can imagine this devotee was like shocked. But that's the point. Maya is strong if our purpose is not strong. If we are not dedicated, if we're not determined, if we're not focused, if we're not one-pointed, then there will be so many obstacles coming our way. And we will not be able to keep up the focus of what we want to do. Whereas if we have to focus, also many obstacles will come, that's for sure. But we have the strength and the intelligence to keep on going. And so they say, purpose is the best alarm clock. So once you have that purpose, you really know what you want in life, then you will even get up before your alarm. You will be ready to do whatever it takes. And I can see that sometimes, just recently we were allowed to do service on the altar. So the devotees, can you imagine when the first devotee in the temple usually wakes up? Just in general, the devotees, for the first program here, we start 4:30. So it's early. But the priests, they get up around 2:30. So I was first time going for the service. And I came down to take a shower. But then the other devotee who was going to teach me, he was already up. He was already dressed full on. And he was chanting. I said, oh, Hare Krishna. And I was shocked, So that's the kind of purpose that the devotees have. They just, even before the duty, they're already full on because they're so much in love with Krishna and they just want to serve. So I have to stop here. Just one more point is that how to come to this point of really making these determined vows, to really make sure we have this one-pointed focus, get the association of those who have it. Right? Associate with Srila Prabhupada first and foremost, listen to him, hear his examples, read his books. That will give you so much strength. And then also experience the power of making vows. If you make a vow, okay, for this week I will chant 1 round every day. it will be easy all of a sudden. Like if you have you ever fasted, not eaten for a day or two or whatever? If you make that vow the day before, okay, tomorrow I will not eat, then the next day will be easy. But if in the morning somebody comes, today we should fast, then it's like, okay, very difficult. Maybe you had this experience. So it's a matter of really planning and being resolute in that purpose. So these were just a few thoughts. I'm sorry it was a little bit all over the place, but thank you very much for your rapt attention. And we will give over the word to Devashi Radhika Mataji. Maybe Rashrepu will say something. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
First, thank you very much, Siksastakam Prabhu, for speaking on determination and making us ready for the next month, but also for life, I think. And I think maybe we can see, maybe if afterwards there's some time, I think we have kind of some discussion, some questions. Today we also want to, Devashi Radhika Mataji, she want to also share a project which a team of devotees they have started, called a Sacred Tree Project. It's I think I will not speak much, as she will explain, but it's a project for devotees or anyone who is interested, who wants to learn more also on Krishna consciousness. And while we set up, I think we would also start.
Thank you very much. You may be wondering why she's here to speak, interrupting this very nice lecture. But it's something which is very relevant to you. It's your project, and today is a very auspicious day right before Kartik for you to get involved and get to know what this is. So, how many of you have been to the US? And how many of you have seen the redwood forest? Have you ever seen a redwood forest? So, His Holiness Radhanath Swami talks about his journey into a redwood forest. And he describes how the trees, they are growing immensely tall. They are like shooting into the sky. And he was wondering how these trees manage, these are like thousands and thousands of years old, how do these trees manage to grow that tall? And after some research, he found they manage to grow that tall because their roots are interconnected. And they nurture each other, and therefore you have such a lush forest. And you must be wondering, why is she talking about a forest randomly? But this is a community of the forest. And this is the community of the Krishna Temple Zurich. We assemble here regularly every Sunday, some of us also throughout the week. But there's also something happening online. We have something called the Sacred Tree Project. Many of the members, please raise your hand, who are already part of it. Yes, the Sacred Tree Project started in June of 2025. It takes inspiration from the Redwood Forest. It is an online community development program where some of us, we get together every evening, Friday or Saturday morning. We have a consensus, what time is good for us. We get together, we discuss philosophy, we discuss life, and it's a 6-week program with a 1-week break, and then we do an activity together. Once we did a picnic in China Garden in the rain. It was fun. Then the second activity we had was in the temple. We made special lamps for the Kartik month that we heard about. So there's a lot happening. And why are we doing this? It is because we understand the importance of community. To go ahead alone can be challenging, right? We were just talking about challenges and being resolute in purpose. And what makes us resolute in purpose is support, to have a support system. So the Sacred Tree Project is enveloping this community building where we aim towards having great friendships with each other, getting to know each other more, and having a Krishna conscious basis to our relationship. And I don't know, I think the participants themselves can speak about this, that you kind of have a greater sense of knowing of each other. The temple feels more familiar, and we feel a bit more connected to doing service. And community is something you can fall back upon whenever there is a time of need. And we have to create that. Of course, we can come in and we can think, there is no community here. But it is for each of us to create that community. We are community. So I just want to show you a brief video, brief meaning 9 minutes, where we have different personalities from around the world, from the ISKCON movement, who have lived this joyful community experience. And I would really hope for you to hear from them. And we will also share contact details, how you can be part of the Sacred Tree community, or you could just get in touch with me personally or with Narayani. Narayani, if you can raise your hand, please. Or with Narayani. So it's a friends project to create more friendships. So let's see. All right, so it's mirroring right there. This is difficult. Okay. All right. All right, so this is something which has happened before. It's a pilot project. We've done already 2 groups of Sacred Tree, and this is like a public launch where we open it up, our hearts, to everybody to come on board. And hopefully this will be fun. Okay. Just bear with me. Yes, I want to expand it because I don't see it on my screen because of the mirroring was... Anyway, all right. Yes, community also needs patience, as we can see. All right, okay. It's audible for everybody? There's a speaker in here. There.
Yes, thank you for being part of this, part of this association, teaming up with each other. Yes. Yes. Prabhupada said, sticks that are bundled up together, it's difficult to break them. But when we are alone as a little twig, then we can easily be snapped by Maya. So such association is really an asset, and
Hare Krishna. Having healthy relationships within the devotee community, I'll speak on 4 things which acronym to the word care. Often when I ask the devotees, what does care means to you, the most frequently given answer is love. That's the answer. But then Prabhupada said, how do we show our love? He said we'll show our love by cooperation. So the first thing within the devotee community is that cooperation. So the C in the care stands for cooperation. And at times, to cooperate, we need to at times compromise, our personal priorities. So that's the C of the care. Second, another important aspect is having appreciation, even for small things. I've seen some devotees, they love to appreciate, others, even small contribution in their life. And I've seen the effect of it is very encouraging to the devotees. So the A stands for appreciation. The next third important aspect is respect. Often with the devotee community, there could be disagreements. I may dislike the way the things are being done by some individuals, so on and so forth. But still, I should have the respect towards that person. Prabhupada said, a Vaishnava respects even a dog-eater. And once in Arjuna Girira Swami Maharaj asked Prabhupada, I hear that you call the scientists as fools, rascals, and kick them on the face. Should we talk like this when we meet them? Prabhupada said, no, you should be very respectful. So, in his personal dealings, we see Prabhupada was very respectful. In fact, the 2 great wars, Mahabharata and Ramayana, were fought, and the basic reason was disrespect shown to the 2 great devotees, the Vaishnavis, to Mother Sita and Draupadi. So disrespect needs to be duster. We should have always a respect culture of respect to the devotee community, even if we don't like or disagree sometimes. And the last is empathy. Empathy, we feel the pain of others. That's empathy. It's the quality of a devotee. And of course, Vasudeva empathy is, take on the sins of all the living entities and so on. That's a very high standard. At least we can be a little bit more considerate towards the devotees, making some small sacrifice, being considerate to others, actually nourish healthy relationships within the devotee community.
Hare Krishna. We're talking about actually devotee relationships. it's very important to value these relationships. It's like a boat that carries us to Krishna safely. Sometimes when we don't value devotee association, take it for granted, take our friends for granted, we can get involved in some other friendships that we may consider to be more important, more valuable, more nourishing, but actually they can take us away from Krishna. And in the long run, they can change our tastes and change our values and our ultimate goal of life. So devotees, whatever they are, however they are, they keep us focused on the goal of life, and with help of just being nice, just being helpful, just being sweet. Actually, it could be just devotion service, just to be sweet with devotees. That's like can be one angle of devotional service. This association actually creates the whole atmosphere of spiritual world for us. And in this way we become eligible of being with Krishna and his devotees in the spiritual world. So let's be very mindful, very grateful if we have even one devotee friend. Thank you so much.
An old friend of mine who's a senior devotee, he told me once that one of the greatest gifts that Krishna can give you is a good friend, like a good devotee friend. And his point was that when we have good friendships with devotees, we should really take care to nurture those relationships in a positive way. Like really see it as a gift from Krishna, and put our energy into having good relationships with our friends. And I have so many people that I consider like real brothers actually in the path of Krishna consciousness. And even over the decades, maybe our lives have taken different directions, or we've made different kinds of choices. Some are maybe doing very, very well in Krishna consciousness. Some are maybe struggling to some extent. But I think of those devotees as very important, dear people that Krishna gifted those friends to me. And so whenever I speak to them, I try to, nurture them in a positive way. Just meet them where they are. I try to encourage them. If someone's not doing so well, I never try to be overly judgmental or harsh with them. I try to, just keep things friendly and keep things Krishna conscious. I also have another senior who's so good at always staying in touch with people, and he does such a nice job of calling, checking in, how are you, and just being a good, positive, Krishna conscious friend. In a way, I think it's not the only aspect of devotee care, but it's a very powerful, profound aspect. I think that when we have a network of good friends in Krishna consciousness, that's probably one of the most powerful things that kind of keeps us in devotee association.
Communities thrive when there are deep Krishna conscious relationships and excellent communications. It's important for a community to have, the basic parts of Vaishnava etiquette. When people come to the temple, greeting them, making them feel at home. When devotees are in difficulty, checking in on them and offering some service to them, serving prasadam nicely, etc. And on the flip side of that, really strictly discouraging criticism, avoiding criticisms of each other, neglecting people, avoiding backbiting, and so forth. And so to make the atmosphere inviting and attractive. But I think there's more to communities than that. And I was speaking at a Christian church once, and before I spoke, the person said that, and I'm quoting here, said, "Let me suggest, at the risk of being the bearer of bad news, that if all we do is help a church full of diverse people be friendly, get along with each other, and not fight very much, then we simply make church nothing more than a polite, neighborly social club, and we settle for a cheap substitute for Christian community." So besides all the things about, yes, we should be nice and love each other, yes, we should avoid criticism, there's more. There's encouraging each other and perhaps even pushing each other to get closer to Krishna and closer to one another. And this only happens when there's a relationship of trust, so that when one of our colleagues, one of our godbrothers or godsisters is saying, your chanting is, you're not pronouncing all the words, we say, oh, thank you so much. The mood of the community all going closer and closer and closer to each other, and to the very challenging goal of becoming a dear devotee of Lord Krishna in this very life. So community, there's this level, but there's also a higher level of community, and that's what we should be searching for in our communities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for your attention. We went through this long video just to understand why is it important to come together. We come together like this, but there are different platforms that Krishna Temple Zurich is making available to you to come together. So please take advantage of it. You can email us at volunteer@krishna.ch, or you could get in touch with us directly. Two of us are here and other members also here. So please do think about it. It's a goal towards creating a community of the heart, creating better friendships, closer hearts, and progressing in Krishna consciousness together, much in line with today's lecture actually, becoming more resolute in purpose together. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah, thank you, Devashri Radhika Maharaji, for showing this project which has started this year. So you know how to sign up. So those who are interested, please sign up. And again, I take this opportunity. Thank you, Devashri Radhika, for showing this project, and also Siksastakam Prabhu for today's talk. And I think it's already time, so I wish you a good feast outside waiting for you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.